Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Dragon's Lair. Today I'm going to do something that I've been wanting to do for the last couple of months, and I've actually got enough ambition to do it for today. So we'll see how it works, but I wanted to do the comparison of the two. This is the classic Hero Quest game, and then this is the new version of Hero Quest. And I did do a review on this, telling you all the parts and everything. But I wanted to do a comparison on what both of them are like, or how different and how the same they are. So, I really didn't think this out. I just wanted to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on my coffee table. So, okay, first we'll do the board. And here is the board from the classic one. So there's the board from the classic game, Hero Quest. It looks like a dungeon board, or a board of rooms that are underground. And then we're going to open up. Okay, we're going to try to open up this board. There we go. And then here's the board for the new version. So here's the board. Here's the board from the original version, and then here's the board. And here's the board from the new version. It's bigger. Same amount of rooms, it's just bigger. Oops, sorry. There we go. Old board, new board. So, there's the boards. They still have the same rooms. Green, brown, red, checkerboard.
Gynecologic cancers. That's powerful. Maybe even life-saving. Find out more.
So, there's that. And they both fold up differently. Because since the other one's a little bigger, it has to fold up like a modern Monopoly game. Next, let's do the DM screen. So here is the artwork from the old 80s one. And yes, I actually have a board that's never been used. So there's the old one. Here's the new artwork. It's a little bit more modern looking. See, there's the old and the new. And the new board actually came perforated like this because it came folded. So, but you can see that it's not different at all except the way the Hero Quest is written. And the wording is a little bit bolder in the new one. So, there's that. That's the GM boards. I gotta make sure I keep these all in their right things. The quest books. Here's the rule books for the new edition, the new set, or the updated
thinking that would
reboot set, basically.
When they dug her up, the head was already detached and clean of flesh. They concealed it within the walls, and the screams discontinued. But some even say you can still see Anne walking around the grounds. I mean, technically a ghost, but why was her head detached? Why was there no flesh? I'm just saying that's creepy and very demonic to me. So, anyways, moving on. Number 9.
And then here's the set. Here's the books for the old set.
Is the picture of
See, I like the newer books. They're more color and more of a glossy. These are more like the old style books where it's just paper. So there's the two different versions of those.
But instead, he released something dark and twisted into the world. The painting is an artistic interpretation of a photo taken of him.
And I will do something that I can't share with you for the new edition because I don't have the expansions to the new edition. But here's the two expansions for the old editions. And I do have everything for them. So, let's see.
The father set up a camera to prove nothing happened, so that he'd be like, kids, count down. But then, he saw in the video the boy in the painting move. We all know demons like to attach themselves to pain and sorrow. What if while bringing this piece to life, he also allowed for something else to come through?
Okay, here's the
Number 8, the Anguished Man painting.
card sheet.
You may have heard and seen the famous The Scream painting. You know that one? But though this one looks similar, it is far more terrifying. Remember that Dorian Gray thing? Well, this is kind of like that, but also more like the Velvet Buzzsaw with Toni Collette and Jake Gyllenhaal. Great movie, by the way. Very scary. Well, it looks like the artist basically did just that, minus the immortality.
Sorry, I'll be right with you.
Inherited this painting from his grandmother.
Problem with the new edition.
The artists have mixed their own blood with the
So there's the old
Shortly
character
after
sheets.
completed, the artist took his own life, and that is
There's the old character sheets. And the new character sheets, which are a little bit bigger, but they're exactly the same. Except for the markings on the bottom. But they're exactly the same. Just the newer one's bigger.
Crying, banging, and screaming could be heard. And then there's this video that Sean set up to record any strange happenings.
And then I got to figure out.
His wife and dog are totally creeped out by it. His wife having felt a presence touch her multiple times in the house, and a dog won't go near it. And I think we all know if a dog goes near someone or something, not to be trusted. It's bad news. They got the sense. They know. Number 7, the Letta doll. Last time we talked about Annabelle, but get ready for Letta. Letta has to be one of the creepiest dolls.
Okay.
That's fine. Like she looks like where Annabelle doesn't look creepy, Letta does. Letta was found underneath an abandoned house in New South Wales. The doll is said to be over 200 years old and has a head of real human hair.
Okay.
So look at this
I can
doll.
only
If it
find
doesn't
the
give you
two.
absolute creeps, I don't know.
I can only find the two characters.
Steel, who knows? Mr. Walton became one of Letta's owners and soon started to notice some pretty strange events. Guests coming over to the house would suddenly feel sick and disturbed when they were around the doll. Walton himself noticed scuffs on the floor leading to Letta as if they'd gotten up and walked around. Some say the spirit of a young boy who drowned his
Sorry about this.
Others believe it's something
I should have been a little bit more prepared, but
this doll is possessed by one of the bad guys, aka awful demons, or a good guy. Some even kiss Letta for luck. I wouldn't kiss that doll. Just saying. Alright, number 6. Thomas Busby's chair.
okay, here are the new character cards for the monsters, or the demons. I'm sorry, the gargoyle still looks like a demon.
And for his last meal, he asked that he be served in his favorite pub in Thirst, England. After he stood up, he said, "May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit in my chair." Now, if you're evil enough in life, chances are you'll come back as a demon. Throwback to Asmodeus. The
And then here are
centuries,
the ones from the original edition.
But it wasn't until World War II that people noticed that any soldier who sat there wouldn't return from war. I mean,
There's the original editions. They're more detailed. See, there's the two skeletons. More detailed on the new ones.
After they sat in the chair, and the death toll kept rising. Eventually, the chair was donated to a museum in 1972 and was hung on the wall so it could not.
So that's kind of cool. The new edition's actually looking a little bit better on some things.
Beauty and the Beast and a banshee and a demon, just a lot. The chained oak tree is a tree literally wrapped in chains and all from
Okay, I don't know where the wizard.
The 15th Earl of Shrewsbury was riding past it when he came across.
Or there's the wizard and barbarian. I don't know where the.
He shunned her pleas for money, and as a result, she cursed him. Or maybe if she was a demon, he fell prey to a plan she had.
Okay, there's
all
the new
along.
ones.
For every branch that fell from the tree.
Okay, so here's what the old characters looked like. They were like cardboard plates, basically, like coasters. And then the new ones are just cards.
The Woman of Love statue was discovered in 1878 in Lem, Cyprus. And if there's anything
So
that should have
there's
saved
that.
the
And those are the character sheets. And the old dwarf character sheet that makes it look like the original White Dwarf from Games Workshop.
The first rumors of demonic activity surfaced after the first owner, Lord Elfont, experienced all 7 members.
And I have no idea where the
of
other.
diseases within the first 6 years he owned it. The same thing happened to the next 2 owners, Ivor Minucci and Lord Thompson Noel, who died along with their entire families. It wasn't until the 4th owner, Sir Alan Biberbrook, died along with his wife that their sons donated the item to the Royal Scottish Museum in Edinburgh.
And the cool thing about the new edition, the new edition actually comes with quick play cards for each of the players, so they know what's the turn sequence and everything. So, on a turn, a hero does one of the following. So I don't believe the old one had that.
The cage is one of the most haunted places in Essex, having used.
But I do want to show you. This is a chaos spell. This is a dread spell. But here's the different. Here's what the. Let's see.
She was a good person, but then someone got jealous.
I don't know if there is chaos magic in this.
14 other women, and they were all hanged
Treasure.
with their children left behind.
I think the dread spell is the chaos spells now. So there's the new card, and there's what the old cards look like. The old chaos spells and the new dread spells.
Pots and pans flying. Vanessa constantly saw shadow people.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize it, but they're both the firestorm spell.
She caught the image of a
So.
satanic goat-like image on camera. We all know what that means. Number 2.
So that's cool.
If you've ever heard or seen an abandoned house, chances are it's like that for a very demonic reason. If you've been with this channel for a while, then you know the deal.
Let's
Today,
see.
I'm going to be talking about one house that was so badly haunted, it was condemned.
Okay,
Joanna
treasure.
Thomas and her 3 children lived in a home on Carolina Street in Gary, Indiana. Large black flies started swarming around the family's screened-in porch, and at night the family would hear footsteps and even
Treasure.
saw shadowy figures.
Treasure
This
cards.
is a sighting that paranormal investigators agree is a
See, they're still
sheer
kind of
sign
designed the same way. They still got the little squirrel on the bottom.
She saw her 12-year-old daughter levitate above her bed. Clairvoyants soon discovered that the house wasn't just haunted by one, but 200
And then there's
demons.
two different types of the new way that it's done and the old way. So, seeing a comparison that they're almost exactly identical.
Things that others carrying the highest forms of credibility couldn't explain either. There was something there that was very dark, yet highly intelligent and powerful. Unquote. Number 1, Stull Cemetery. Stull Cemetery in Kansas isn't your typical cemetery, though it looks like it. It has so much activity that many believe that it is.
I still don't know where my characters are, where the other 2 characters are.
Even the Pope charters his plane around it, not over it. Every year, tourists flock to the cemetery in order to see if the devil will appear on Halloween. They even have to have police to protect him. This is clearly a place that demons created, and where they originate from.
Okay, so I'm missing one.
All those who pass. Even the beloved
there it
Ariana
is.
Grande had an encounter
Okay.
she will never forget.
So there's the
From
elf and the
certain
dwarf
pictures to shadows,
from the
Ariana
new
swears
set.
the place is haunted by something no one should mess with. Paranormal
The elf
investigators
card
will
and the
check out
dwarf card.
Stull Cemetery, and this
There we go.
is their experience.
There's the 2 comparisons to the 2 different the new elf and the old elf, the new dwarf and the old white dwarf. So they're all new cards now.
The fact that demons may have left it behind, but that they are still clearly living there. Number 10, the Hope Diamond. If you're looking to splurge on a gift for your loved one because you have all the money in the world, maybe look elsewhere. This
Now
is
we'll do a comparison of all the minis.
anything but. stolen from a Hindu idol in India by French merchant Jean-Baptiste Cabramier.
Okay, first we'll do the characters.
And brought bad luck and death to all who touched it. The first
I don't know if you guys can see it, but
quite brutally as he was mauled to death. Then the diamond fell into the hands of King Louis XVI and his wife Marie Antoinette. And we all know what happened to them. They loved it so much they lost their heads about it. So next was Lord Francis Hope, who this diamond is named after, died destitute after his fortune was squandered. Then socialite Evelyn Walsh McLean had tragedy after tragedy. Her son died in a car crash, her daughter took her life, and Evelyn herself ended up in this.
okay. There's the classics. You got the Barbarian. Here's the new Barbarian.
Locked away, so whatever spirits inside it can't hurt anyone else.
There's the new Barbarian.
Robert the
There's
Dog.
the old
It
Barbarian.
is actually impossible to do a list like this and not mention
There's
a
the
lot of
elf.
dolls. If I have to do a next one, I don't think there's any left, but we'll see. If I ever have children,
that's the
children
new
out of the
elf.
question. They're not getting dolls. It's not
See, they're more
happening.
detailed now.
Humans like them too much. Robert the Doll is
Here's the
another
wizard.
demonic doll that shouldn't be messed with.
For the new
story
wizard.
begins in
Here's the old
1896
wizard.
in West Florida, when a boy named Robert Eugene Otto
And then
received
here's
this
the
gift from one of
old
the family servants
dwarf
who
that looks
hated
like
their
the old
masters since,
Games
well,
Workshop White Dwarf,
slavery.
which
Fair enough.
it makes sense because the old miniatures were actually made by Citadel Miniatures. Then here's the new dwarf.
But then servants heard the doll.
The new guys, the new miniatures are a little bit taller, so they're probably like 28 millimeter instead of what Games Workshop, I think, is what, 20 or 23. Yeah, I think the new ones are 28 and the old ones are like 23, 25, something like that. So there's the characters, the players, the 4 different players. Do a comparison of the gargoyle. Okay, here's the old gargoyle. Here's the old gargoyle, which still looks like a demon. And then here's the new gargoyle. And they don't look like gargoyles. They look like demons. I'm sorry.
This exquisite vase was made as a gift from an Italian
So.
bride and given to her the night before the wedding. But the next day she never made it to the chapel as she was killed the night before. Thus, the first act of the curse was born. The vase was then passed down to the family, but after each new owner died, it was hidden away to prevent any more death. But in 1988, it was rediscovered with a note inside with a very clear warning: beware, this vase brings death. Maybe you should heed that warning, but of course they didn't. The vase went up for auction.
Okay, I'm not going to take all the characters, all of them out, but there are...
4 more deaths occurred before a family threw it out a window hoping to break it, but instead it fell at the feet of a policeman who
These are
no.
what replaced the femurs. The femurs. Since the femurs are copyrighted, Games Workshop, Citadel Miniature.
Again, no one knows who made this piece, but rumors of demonic creations surround it, meaning that not only do those who own it die, but their souls are taken
But these
by
are
demon
the...
who possesses it.
It looks like Lizardmen replaced them.
Crime boy paintings. The crime boy paintings were a series of paintings
So-
created by Italian painter Giovanni Roppelin, or his actual name, Bruno Amadio, of portraits built
And I will do one of each. Because here's the 2 different Chaos Warriors. Here's the old Chaos Warriors that completely looks like a Games Workshop Chaos Warrior.
In the 1980s, a vicious fire swept the home of Ron and Mary
And then here's the new Chaos Warrior.
The entire house was charred black, save for a painting they had of a crying boy. This wasn't the only time, and in 1985, this fireman reported to the media that these paintings had survived over 50 deadly
Let's see.
fires across the UK.
Oh.
Wherever there was
Okay.
a fire, Amadio's art followed.
Goblin.
and found unscathed
Or no, that's an orc, sorry.
One theory suggests that one of the
Here's the
paintings
goblin.
was of a boy in Spain
The old
who
goblin.
accidentally set his house on fire, killing his parents. Somehow, the spirit of this boy infected each and every
And then
piece,
here's
and
the
wherever it
newer
goes,
goblins.
Tragedy is sure to follow. But can a simple ghost cause
The
this
new
to
goblins
be
look more
widespread
menacing.
damage? Demon or spirit, perhaps think twice
And the cool thing is either one you can still use for gaming or even D&D. Okay. Okay, there's the skeleton, mummy, and zombie. And then here's the new, that's the new ones. New skeleton, new mummy, and new zombie. So, there's the old skeleton, the old mummy, and the old zombies.
Additionally, the inn has chosen to keep the original cell where the prisoners were kept. Both grim choices for decor.
So, the new miniatures I think are better.
As a result, of course, many patrons
they're more of a softer, not 3D printed, but softer.
And occasionally dark, shadowy figures, and we all know who they are. Demons, if you didn't guess. Number 5, Highgate Cemetery. One of the things I absolutely love about visiting places like England and Europe in general is the sense of
okay, sorry. There's the orc.
You can almost feel the people who walked before you on the central
Yep, that's an orc. There's an orc. And everybody knows what an old Warhammer fantasy orc looks like.
Highgate Cemetery in London is one such place where both people who suffered or died peacefully lie. It is rife with lore of hauntings.
I'm not really sure about the orcs. I think the older orcs look more orcish. These look like half orcs. But they're orcs, so I mean. There's the wizard. Trying to think I've gotten everybody. There's the old wizard, the original wizard. The old bad wizard. And here's the new one. So you can tell how much since the 80s to 2020 or 2022 that the miniatures have changed a lot and people's perceptions on things. So that's kind of cool. I do like the newer one. I think the newer one has more character.
This island was believed to be a haven for demons and beasts who would emerge to torment and destroy ships. One tale of forbidden love also haunts the island, as a French noblewoman named Marguerite de la Roque and her lover were marooned there. The sailors have
and there's the dice to the new set. 2 red, 6 white.
But Marguerite was saved years later, though she never spoke of what she indeed saw.
And they're made out of plastic, the new dice, like most dice are nowadays.
Sailors say you just might see a woman and a man wandering the shores of the island of demons. We're coming out to our top 3 knives, but before we continue, if you like
and in the original set, you got 2 red and 2 white.
because it lets us know you like us.
And they're the same exact dice, except these are made out of wood.
Number 3, the Hellfire Caves. Oh boy. The Hellfire
I don't know why you only got
Famous club
4, but
spoken about in hushed corners away
because
from
when I put
Christmas
this,
ears.
oh no,
It
here
was
we go.
essentially a meeting place for high society types in the
3, 4.
1700s who desired to
Okay.
perform a
Sorry,
acts.
you got 4.
In other words, it's where
They
rich
just
people go
were
really kinky.
thrown around
The
somewhere
inmate
else.
chalk caves in West Wycombe,
There we go. There's the 4
4
classic dice. Or the 2 red and the 4 white. And then there's the. See, you can tell that these are the modern plastic dice, and these are old wooden ones. So there's the miniatures, and now what we have left is the stuff. The things you put in the
and feelings of being watched. Number 2, the Demon Church. St. Botolph's Church in Lincolnshire, England may look like your typical old place of worship, but just exactly what they worship within those walls is far darker than you may think. The church was abandoned in 1973 and in the following years, it became a haven instead for all those who worshipped Satan. All kinds
There's
of
these.
ceremonies
Here's the old
including
ones
those involving animal sacrifices.
to
Who
make
knows
the
what else? I
rooms
bet you
different.
stay away if they can resist their
You got the 2
curiosity.
bookcases, you got the cabinet, got the alchemist table, you got the wizard's table, you got two plain tables, or you can use them as beds. The fireplace, the weapon rack, the chair, the rack, the stretcher, the stretching rack, the tomb, and 4 chests. And you also had a rat, extra rat, that you put in on something. And then you had like extra skulls. So I'll keep those out for right now.
The windows in the castle are actually fake, making it clear that this place is not meant to be lived in. When construction first began, prisoners in the village would
Okay.
if they agreed to be lowered by rope.
Here's the old tomb.
After a few moments in the darkness, the man begins screaming
cardboard,
and begging to be pulled up. By the time they hauled him up,
plastic. And then this one's like 3D printed plastic, but you can actually open it up and put stuff inside. So that's kind of cool.
But died 2 days later. If you were a prisoner at the time, would you have said yes?
Okay, the old fireplace.
I don't know. I would have just like
The new style fireplace. And yes, you can actually paint them.
Cool.
Paint them and find like little stickers to put like a picture up there or something, or make that a mirror. So the new stuff is paintable. Here's the wizard's table with his tome and the candles. Then here's the old one. See, I don't really have an opinion on either of them because both are detailed, and depending on how you paint them, can even be more detailed. So, but the rack, the new rack, I like better. See?
Sometimes she is bearded. Very often she's grimacing, facing us directly with her tongue.
So that's kind of cool. I do like the newer one better. And then here's the new throne, or the new chair, and the old chair. The new chair is actually a lot better because you can actually fit a figure in there. You barely can fit. You have to put the figure actually will sit on the arms. So that's cool. And I do have a bunch of figures that actually are sitting. The tables. See, I like that everything is all made out of the hard plastic now. And I'm not sure if it's actually 3D printed. It's probably molded. So and the new weapon rack is a lot better because it's more detailed. But it looks like it's got about the same amount of weapons on it. So, oh, sorry. There we go.
Whose gaze can see right through you to expose everything inside of you. That can freeze you in your tracks and somehow devour you and consume you. And I think men in particular.
And a new alchemist table with everything on it. Nothing, it doesn't move. Nothing comes off. So it's all molded on there together. And then here's the old one with the scale that comes off. So then you got the chests. You only get 3 chests in this one, but you get 4 in the old one. But there's the 2 chests. And the new one actually looks more realistic, especially if you paint it. But the old ones can work in a pinch, because even if I don't play this too often, the miniatures and the scenery stuff are usable for other games, other D&D games or other fantasy games. Okay, here's one of the bookcases. They're both molded the same, so. But there's the new one's really heavy, especially since the old one's made out of cardboard and light plastic. And the old new ones actually got indented books that you can actually paint and stuff. So that's kind of cool. And then the cabinet. There's the new cabinets.
Athena's temple is no myth. It still stands today.
There's the old one. So that's the cabinets. And last, what we have left are the doors. And somebody's coming in. Hello.
Any great city should have a great temple. It would be like a city in America, some kind of great sports stadium.
We'll do these ones first. Here's the old door. The old wooden closed door. The new wooden closed door. And it still doesn't open. But they're much bigger.
Nearly 40 feet high, carved out of ivory.
And the new ones are more flexible because they're metal. Or plastic, I mean.
In the myth, this is where Medusa's tragic
And these old ones actually came apart.
Medusa's beauty is off limits.
And now we have the corridor. There's the arch, the door arch. See, there's that. And just like the door, this one came apart and put together.
He is a god of the sea and a god of storms and a god of earthquakes. Earthquakes don't sort of just creep up on you.
And there are tokens and things. See, here's some of the old tokens. I have not punched out the new tokens yet.
In a fit of raw lust,
But
Poseidon makes his move
they're the same exact tokens, just bigger.
and ravages the virgin princess.
See, that's basically every single token that you would get in the old game, but bigger. So there's the comparison of the two Hero Quests, the one from the late 80s, and then the new one that came out last year. I think the new one is actually far superior than the old one because of how detailed the miniatures are now and everything. Sorry, I didn't want to move my chair, so I figured I'd just sit on the floor. So yeah, the new ones are far superior in a way because they last longer than the plastic and the cardboard. Even though my original one was taken care of well. If I buy the expansion, the 2 expansions. Actually, I think the new one actually has 3. If I buy the 3 expansions, I may do a comparison of the expansions of the 2 different era expansions. So other than that, that is that. And the new one, the old one, you actually got this. You get an army, a cardboard centerpiece where it showed you everything. And in the new one, everything is put in plastic dividers with covers, so you don't have to worry about everything moving around. So, other than that, that's it. That's the 2 comparisons. Leave a comment down below of which one you think was the better version. I know some people like the original. The miniatures are useful. They're not as detailed as the new ones, but they are the classic molds from Games Workshop, Citadel Miniatures. So other than that, have a good weekend, enjoy Labor Day, and see you all later.